Chiefs camp kicked off this week, and Pat Mahomes came out firing. We're going to talk about him and a couple other things coming up right now. This is RGR Football, and NFL training camps just kicked off. We have a lot to talk about with Pat Mahomes, his receivers, a couple of injuries, and a few other things. But we're going to get started right now. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscription and click the bell. Welcome, everybody. And, if you like what you're seeing, give us that thumbs up. It goes a long way towards spreading the message and growing the channel. We have plenty to talk about. We're going to start right now with a clip. Now that's the wide view of the play of camp at this point, and it came out right on, early on in the going, and Patrick Mahomes clearly shows that he and Andy Reid are on the same page, they're making the same reads, and he is able to execute. Yes, it's just shells, but it's how they start training camp, and it's a good sign to see that this young quarterback, with the big arm that everybody's been talking about, and the hype train is fully rolling, and yes, I know, the hype train is rolling. But it's good to see him come out and attack early, trying to develop that chemistry with Sammy Watkins, who is the recipient of this pass here.
Already one of the top offenses. You got, like I said, 4 or 5 guys that are already making Pro Bowls and 1,000 yards and leading in their position. So we just, for me, it's just to come in and add my fuel to the fire.
And we're going to talk about it from another angle here. And what that shows you is a command of the offense. I like what he's doing here, and it's getting him off to a good start. And really what we're going to hear is that he really leads the offense in terms of its tempo, of its attitude. He's got a great reputation for having a command in the huddle, as well as in the training room. We have a piece coming out on LockedOnChiefs.com that's going to give you some background on how Pat Mahomes goes about his job. And we have to think that that's going to continue here in training camp. And what we've seen to this point is that he is able to get the ball where it needs to be, to take advantage of the defense, to understand what he's supposed to do on a given play. And here's a quote from Andy Reid, where he's talking about how Patrick goes about, and the fact that this particular play that has been captured on a number of times, and we're obviously talking about today, how it's been a read and an alert route that he was supposed to throw, and that he made the correct decision and he threw the correct route, and that he noticed that it was the safety that gave him that route by coming up and biting on a particular formation or route or cheating up. It gave him the opportunity to make this pass. And that's really what it comes down to. That's what he's going to have to do in the regular season. That's what he's going to have to do against all the AFC West divisional foes. And that's really important. Now, I want to know what you think. Is that something that gets your motor going, or are you still kind of I know the hype train is really in full effect right now, and I'm almost giving up on being the voice of reason, because everywhere I go, I'm the only one. But I think he's still going to have some interceptions. He has thrown a couple, both to Steven Nelson and David Amerson to this point in camp. And there's just going to be more. Mistakes are going to be made for a young quarterback. That's not a problem. But he's also completed some nice passes to Travis Kelce, who I think is going to end up being the guy that's going to reap the big benefits this season from Pat Mahomes. And he's also got a couple of his receivers that believe in it. One has a special relationship, as we heard here.
I haven't, Pat is probably the first quarterback I played with, who had the arm strength. And that's not taking away from none of the quarterbacks I played with, but, Pat is like something special.
Do you almost feel like that's a match that kind of was meant to happen?
Yes, it was. That's obviously, why he's here, So I'm happy, he's happy, and everybody else is happy.
So clearly, Pat Mahomes is off to a good start, and that means this team is off to a good start. The only question mark is a couple of injuries. They're being pretty coy with giving Kareem Hunt light duty, a practice here, and then hold him out, let him work that hamstring, keep him off the field a little bit, and try to make sure he's not stressing that out. There could be ulterior motives because of some of the off-field things, but we're just going to let it lie at that. I think the big concern is two guys on defense. With a defense that's being rebuilt from the bottom up, we have to think that this is going to be a concern long term. A guy that was brought in to be a draft pick that could fight for a spot in that starting safety role or maybe the third safety role, a guy that can play deep, that can roam a little bit, is Armani Watts. Got hurt the first day, has not been able to practice.
Although Watts was able to get on the field for individual drills Saturday morning.
And in his stead, Dan Sorensen is taking the first team snaps with Barry, which we've talked about ad nauseum, that he is not a free safety type, and I think that's going to put this team in some jeopardy if they decide that he is the guy they're going to go with. Eric Murray, unfortunately, was the culprit that got beat on the Tyreek Hill bomb. So obviously that's not your most ideal matchup either. And they're still searching for someone to play that particular position. And hopefully Watts can get back and do what he does. He's got a ways to go. And so every day that he's out, the clock is ticking about when he can actually start to make an impact. And the other issue is Reggie Ragland, who supposedly had a flame up on his flight to Kansas City with his knee. Haven't seen specifically whether it's his surgically repaired knee or the other, but very, very coy about, hey, it's going to be a day or two or a week or two. So waiting to see with bated breath. They're looking for Reggie Ragland to be the leader on this defense, especially in the front, and get the front seven aligned correctly so that they can attack and try to protect those guys in the back. So that's going to be a key development. If Reggie Ragland is out for some extended period of time, you're looking at trying to play that nickel with Hitchens, who's new to the defense, and probably Dorian O'Daniel coming in to be in that role that Dan Sorensen was in last year, the nickel linebacker type. A little bit bigger, a little bit more of a linebacker than Sorensen is, but still not a guy that you want in there taking on guards. So this is a concern. I think in the base set, Ukeme Eligwe is going to be a guy that can probably come up and take some of that slack. Like to see him get some shots there. It appears that he's repping with the ones while Ragland is on the sidelines. And as soon as I know more, I'll let you guys know. So those are some things to keep an eye on. Let me know what you think about how camp is going and any suggestions you have for camp. I'll be there in a week or two. And make sure you hit the comments. Let's keep this thing going. Share with your friends. Make sure, if you would, give me that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, and we'll keep it rolling. Thank you for watching today, and I'll talk to you next time.